Hey, y'all. Oh, shit.
Hi.
What it do, baby?
Oh, my God. It's Hoops Talk. We're here. Well, Karen's finally live in studio with Liz.
Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties, and I almost fell. So.
Mercury in retrograde.
I think it's my heels in retrograde
Oh,
at that point.
No lies detected.
Please, hello, hi, hey, oh, hey. So we are getting started now. Super excited. Karen, you're in the studio.
I'm
What
in
the fuck?
studio.
And Karen is also working the board.
I sure am.
And Karen is also going to be doing a lot more today.
Yes, because, you know, it's a little hard when you're on Skype, but
Yes.
I'm putting my broadcast major and the money I paid for college to work today.
She looks really good. She looks really good. Okay, we just got an update from Keith. He's saying, we sound strange, so take the second one off. Okay. Is that the output?
Probably.
Okay, turn off the output. Sorry, guys. We're doing this on our own. Okay, does that sound better? Do we sound better?
Let's check the comments. Hey, guys. I see Kirsten's there. I see our usual anonymous Knicks fan in the chat.
He says we sound really weird.
Okay.
Do we sound any better now?
Yeah, Knicks.
Maybe it's the bottom, the output. Maybe we have to turn off the... No, not
that was the one
output.
that made us. Yes, it does, Kirsten says. Better.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Cool. So we do sound better. All right.
And Mark's here, too. Mark, what are we doing wrong?
What's up?
I know. Mark has a show on after us, and he, literally came in late and was all, not helpful.
I'm looking like, what the hell did y'all do? Nobody usually touches it.
It was all disabled when we got here.
It was?
Yeah. But
So then you can blame Courtside.
Oh, well.
They're the last ones in here.
okay.
Okay.
It's
Jason
fixed.
says we're sending. Okay,
Okay,
we're good.
yay. Okay.
Nice.
Well, we can't start over, so let's keep
We
moving
have
forward.
the music.
I want to thank nobody for helping us, so thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. We are in a very warm studio with two very hot guests, and we're going to be talking about a lot of very cool summer shit. So.
Why is it the AC on?
Is
just on.
it too loud with the AC?
No, it's not.
Okay, perfect.
turn it on.
Mark's got it on. It's gonna get
the other
icy
studio.
in here.
The other studio was the
Sweaty
one
and
where it was
petty.
Yeah,
really,
I mean,
like where you could hear the AC.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
it's better
This one
now.
is better.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so, well, now that that's all out of the way, hi, everybody. Well, today's episode, we are joined with two special guests today.
Very
we have
special.
John Anin. Did I say that right?
John Anin.
John Anin, excuse me. He's the founder and creator of at Protect Home Court, and we have known
It's a
him.
dope page, by the way, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
it's
appreciate
really
that.
good.
No
It's really
problem.
good.
Like that page is sick.
Yeah, and we've worked with John in the past. Actually, I was his boss, so it is so good to be reunited 1 year later.
Exactly 1 year.
Exactly 1 year. I can't even believe it. That's so crazy. So that's awesome. And then we also have Mark. And how do you say your last name?
You know how to say it.
Is it Bland?
Yes.
Because you're nothing.
you're
You're
opposite.
totally not
That's
Bland.
right. I try not to be, baby. I try not to be. Now I will say though, I'm all of my teachers growing up would hit me with that same line.
You're not at all.
Thank you. I really try not to be the embodiment of that.
Yeah, you're the
word.
antithesis of it.
So when I got Mark's bio, I saw his last name was Bland, and I'm like, no.
No.
Nobody-
wrong.
People look at me, they go, really? Like of all the names in the world, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, man.
Well, thank you for being here
Yes.
also.
By the way, hi, nice to finally meet you in
I
person.
know.
Oh my
What's
God,
up?
yes, in-person hugs, yay!
Pod
Yeah,
fam.
Pod fam.
Mark is the current host, which is funny because you wrote current host of Sports Talk with Mark, because I'm
That's
like,
right.
was there a different Mark
Well,
that was
We might
a
be.
host?
Well, no. We
Oh,
might be-
God.
We might be adding some more people.
Oh,
okay.
Fabulous.
That's an
Sneak peek.
exclusive?
VIP.
Wow.
An
Wow.
exclusive for you.
Give us $5 on Cash App, for that exclusive
Oh, here
people,
we go.
listeners.
All
Yes,
right.
you're
So
welcome.
we just got an exclusive, everybody.
You did. I didn't even put out an alert on IG yet.
You haven't?
Nope.
Wow, there you go. I know you brought in a
new producer, but I might be adding one more to the roster.
Wow, I like this.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so we have our special guests and some topics that we're thinking about discussing, but as whenever you have guests, it veers into many different directions. But today we definitely want to hit on our songs of the summer playlist.
Yes, this list is lit.
Thank you everybody in the chats on our social that listen, because I'm going to tell you guys made a hot fucking hot
girl
song playlist.
Summer list.
It is so good. I was listening to it today. We were trying to rearrange some of the songs, so the cadence, but you guys did a great job. So thank you everybody that participated. And we also want to talk about internet trolls, because John, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I did see a little skerfuffle on one of your posts.
Digital altercation.
In Protect Home Court.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
So I think, in our last episode, we did talk to our last guest about, you get those negative comments and what do you do? So I'd be interested to hear from both of you as, you're building your brand. And especially, John, you started from scratch and you almost have 7,000 followers now on @Protect Home Court. So you're doing a fabulous job. So I'd love to get into how do we deal with those internet trolls? And as you know, NBA social is filled with trolls.
Oh.
So
yeah, we need them tips.
I'm a troll too on Twitter with LeBron. So.
Oh, man. Wait, but you know what though? At least kudos to you for admitting that you're a troll.
I am a troll.
Like, you're not a bot out here just being
Well, I
crazy.
mean, kudos to Anonymous Knicks fan 922, who's our number one troll. So there you go. And no, your summer song is not Kokomo by the Beach Boys. So stop it. Stop it. Uncle Jesse, do not.
Do not.
And we might get into a GOAT debate if we can keep our heads.
And timing.
I know
like
with
goat
working
debates.
with John, he cannot handle a GOAT debate. He will lose his mind.
There may be tears.
There may be blood.
Tantrums.
One year can change a lot, so.
Someone's been meditating.
I've been meditating.
That's what he used to tell me when his eyes were closed at work. So we might get into that, and of course we do have sports trivia, because we thought in the spirit of it being summer, we do a little sports trivia. And
cool.
since we're always getting asked if we know sports, which is amazing to be asked having a sports talk show, we figured we would ask you two guests, do you know sports, and have some questions
And test
for
your
you.
knowledge with trivia.
I'm down for
Yeah,
it.
basketball.
I love good sports trivia. Just don't make it
Excellent.
ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was too hard, but I mean, unless I knew the answers, I probably couldn't tell you what that was. So, okay, let's see. So thank you guys for coming. We're really super excited. I'm going to do a little house cleaning for our listeners. As you know, if you like what you hear, please support us by sharing us with your friends and family. And as always, follow us at The Hoops Talking on Instagram and Twitter. Leave questions and comments. That's really how we got the summer playlist going. So, we've been much more active. And so we definitely, hit us up and connect with us. We want to do some shout outs to NBA Overtime Podcast, NBA Finish Line Pod, the Full Court Pod, Laker Central Pod, Unwrapped Sports Network, 81 Points, and the Vault Studio. As we are spreading love, because it's the podcast way, we found them on Twitter, and we've been, just sharing each other's content. So thank you so much. We love being in that group. And then a big, giant heart shout out to Amanda Zoe B of the New York Liberty. We've been fangirling big. Well, I just love her.
Yep.
I think she's awesome.
Period.
And I know she's on the Liberty, but I just think her personality, and she's such a good player. And we kind of tagged people hey,
Liz was,
what's a
knocking on doors.
song? I was knocking on doors, just adding at people, and she did respond.
Oh, snap.
So some of her songs are on our playlist. So
that's
shout
cool.
out to her. So thank you so very much. And that's our house cleaning updates. You have any updates, Karen?
She also responded to our hot summer playlist.
I said
question. Oh, I'm multitasking here. This is
welcome to my world.
not easy.
Welcome to my world. So amazing. Okay. So I guess there's no more house cleaning updates for us. So we're going to go right into what we like to call Let's Get Social. So should we get let's do a sound effect?
Oh yeah, I've got a code for that. So
something.
I
what are
don't
we
think,
gonna do?
I don't
Let's
think
do.
he uploaded the sound effects, did he?
No sound effects? Oh, let's get social.
That was magical.
We're going to get magical.
I got it. I got y'all.
Dust-esque.
So we want to pair these two things together. So did you guys happen to see the social post from Shaq?
Which
About,
one?
well, it wasn't from him, but it was about him at that concert.
Tomorrowland in Belgium.
Yeah.
When he was front row.
Yes, and then
or
washing
the one where he
later.
was knocking everybody over.
Oh, and he was
yeah.
throwing water at
Yeah,
people, and
he's
he
an
was getting
absolute
on the
unit.
mosh
He just-
pit.
That's a large.
That's a big
He's a
man.
big
Man,
guy. He's a big
that's-
dude.
Well, I appreciate it, but one of the things that caught my eye was the dude that was standing on that table that was filled with clutter, and all I could think was that man is going to slip and die. Is that bad that's what
No.
I focused on?
No.
Because I'm just like, that fool is going to fall and die. But also Shaq was in the front row, and he's like a monster. So.
Yeah, and that was my qualm as a shorty. I was like, bitch. Imagine being the person behind him. Oh, shit, fuck.
So I did not know that he was such a fan of that genre. I know he's a DJ.
Yeah, because he does
Oh,
EDM DJ.
He does EDM DJ.
First time I saw him was
we
out in
gotta bring-
Phoenix, or I didn't see him personally, but
Okay.
I saw like a social media post, and
Yeah.
he's just behind the tables, just
And he does some stuff in
Fucking
Vegas like every summer too.
Shazam.
I know that he's a huge fan of the Jabberwocky dance group.
No way.
Well, I mean,
You saw
gotta
his
remember though,
NBA
Shaq's like a
Yeah.
Shaq's always been in the music too, though. Even since when he was, playing with the Magic and the Lakers, coming out with those rap albums.
Oh, yeah. He had
yeah.
that. Yeah,
But-
I remember that.
Didn't he have that line, Kobe, what's my ass taste like, or something like
Kobe,
that?
tell me how my ass tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. But I'm still a Kobe fan, so
Oh, okay. That's good. I think that's good. John, you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I have that line too.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that happened, and I thought that was just like really cool because then as it just kind of shows how, I mean, music is so much a part of the NBA and the WNBA and sports in general. But like you see a lot of these players like Damian Lillard has
He's
an
got his album.
What's the name?
Victor.
Good.
Victor Oladipo
Depot.
has kind of like a slow jam
Yes,
He can actually
situation.
sing.
Yeah.
I'm all about
he's
that
like a pop
slow
artist.
Yeah.
Jam.
And then you have, I think Serge Ibaka tries to like
That guy's
do
intelligent.
some verses.
He does he can speak like 3 or 4 different languages.
I know he should run for president.
Zaddy.
no.
He's very sexy.
President Zaddy.
So we figured that would be great because not only is music such a big part of basketball and sports culture, but also because it's summer, there's so many times when you have songs that you're like automatically, this means summer, hands down, we have to play it. So what are some songs that you guys are like, either you need to hear it, it's like the summer song, or even if like when you're gonna go play ball in the summer, right, and you're gonna be in the heat, like what gets you excited, what gets you going? John, do you want to start? Because you're I have.
Okay, first off, let's say how many Johns already contributed.
John contributed when this went out. I said, please make sure do more than one. He did literally like a dozen, and also,
And there was some fucking Taylor Swift on that bullshit too, right?
Taylor Swift.
I didn't put that, but I do love her.
and I know in John, in your bio, you say you have a 4.8 star Uber rating with a never ending playlist of love songs.
Oh,
and
shit.
I've been
You've
in the car
experienced
with him, so I've experienced him sitting in the front with the Uber driver, and then asking him for the aux cord. So yeah, that's a real thing. So John, what are some of your like must-haves?
Right now,
Yes.
have you heard Ed Sheeran's new album?
No.
Nope.
Absolutely
I
not.
have,
It
and
is
I'm and it's a
Sorry.
no.
He has all R&B
It's a keep
artists on
it.
there. He has Meek Mill on there. He has like a Lamai on
Okay.
there.
Yeah, but it's like when you throw the best ingredients from Whole Foods, but the dish ain't that great.
Damn.
No,
Wow.
no.
Oh,
Listen to Put It All on Me and
Okay.
1,000 Nights.
Okay. Well,
Either one.
We'll have to do
Yeah,
that.
those are great.
Those are which it
songs.
was. So you're more of like you find the current.
I mean, that just came out last week, so I was just like,
Okay, so that was what
Yeah,
like you're playing.
last
Okay, what do we got here, Mark?
I mean, not as far as before I played ball, but just I guess a summer anthem that will forever be a staple in my life and anybody else's. when you hear the famous words, Cash Money Records is taking over for the 99 and the 2000s. That's how you know something about to get cracking. And it's the summer, and the weather finally on point. Oh, it's going down. Like, shout out to Juvenile the Great.
We did get several.
I bet you did.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
Yes.
I bet you did. That
did.
one, maybe slow motion. I mean,
Slow motion for me.
see, she feeling it. All I had to do was say 2 words, slow motion. All she mad automatically. Boom. And she started twerking the goddamn seat.
Well, there you go. Karen, do you want to? Is there something? It could be an artist. Doesn't have to be a particular song.
Oh, no, Megan Thee Stallion, man. Hot Girl
Oh, there
Summer.
you go.
That's a mood.
Okay.
That's a season.
Outside of
I
sports,
can,
do anybody here follow Lil Duval's page on Instagram?
No,
Oh, no.
no.
You
It
gotta-
sounds like we didn't need
Just
to.
follow that shit because you mentioned Hot Girl Summer. Like they've been clowning. They've been clowning for like 2 weeks. Talk about hot boys or whatever. 500 points for doing this. City girls doing minus 1,000, but add another 2,000. It's funny because it's the most ratchet shit that he's posted.
Yeah. Well, Megan Thee Stallion is definitely like she is.
Is she an R&B artist or what?
No
R&B?
Boo-boo.
Far from it.
Yeah, she's
John.
like.
You gotta educate me on her.
From it.
Yeah.
We will after
Yeah.
this, babe.
She is like,
Oh, man.
wow, like she's a powerhouse, and she's
Okay.
just rapping like
Rapping.
Yeah,
She's a rapper.
she's crazy. It's
She's
so
definitely
good.
a rapper. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Karen, do we have some songs in the chat
Yeah.
that we want to?
Yeah, we got.
Hit? Let's see. What do we got?
Kirsten is just
What do
throwing
we got?
down
Oh, here
on
we
some
go. Here we
tasty
go.
hits.
What do we?
Kirsten, the designated twerker of the good news.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Yes,
go.
that's pie.
I've
There's
seen-
tasty.
Yes, I have seen in Never Not Extra, which is one of my favorite shows, and she can dance. They can both dance. They are dancing queens. So they have, let's see, Murphy Lee, Shake Ya, what is it?
Shake a tail feather. With
Sorry, I'm like,
Murphy
I'm
Lee,
so far.
Biggie,
My eyes.
Nelly.
Let's
classic.
see, what else
Yes,
do we
that
have?
is. She's got Plies, Busted Baby Part 2.
Okay, let's see.
Oh,
Anonymous-
anything Little John too. Just about.
That just about.
Yep.
Anonymous Knicks fan has great summer. Oh wait, that went fast. Let's see. What
Real-
does it say?
Real Love, the Biggie mix.
with Mary. Oh, you know what? Actually, so there's a mix that doesn't have Biggie at the beginning, and there's a song there. She has one that does not have Biggie in the beginning.
Yep.
And then there's this mix with the Biggie one. And anytime I put on the one without Biggie, like literally, I get yelled at because that's
It's
not
the
the
wrong
real
one.
one. So yeah. So okay. So anyway, scroll up, Karen. See if
Yeah,
there's any-
we've got Kirsten again, Juvenile, back that ass up.
Oh, and we put that on.
Yes.
We
See?
put that on. We put that on.
Anonymous Knicks fan JD in the straight shot,
I don't. Not familiar.
and he says, "Don't forget Jim Dolan's band." I'm
Okay, the Jim Dolan's band. No.
Wow.
No.
Really?
He actually has good taste. So
Who? The Jim Dolan's band? Oh my.
Anonymous.
Oh, I know. He's just being.
That's how you know somebody's a Knicks fan when they throw out Jim Dolan's band as
Seriously,
an
I
anthem.
mean, come on now.
Bullshit.
That's definitely jokes. So yeah, so if you guys want to hit up our summer playlist, it's called Hot Hoops Talk Summer.
I put the link in the chat for our
Link is in the
live
chat.
listeners.
And so yeah, so if you guys want to listen to that, I don't think I made it collaborative because I mean it's already
You don't want to open it. Yeah, you don't want
It
to
has
open up the
37
gates.
songs on it.
that's a lot.
Okay, it has
a lot of
30.
songs.
That's a
so
party.
It's a little over 2 hours.
Oh, that's a legit party.
yeah, put
going
it-
from like
That's
11 p.m. to 1 in the morning.
So it is there, and you can mix it. So it is called again Hot Hoops Talk Summer Playlist, and yeah, so get into that. That is something again that we created with everybody, all the lovelies on social, answering what their track is. So thank you again for that. That was really awesome. Let's see what else. What do we got here? And let's get social. Okay, so you wanted to ask this question that you found on social.
Oh, quick. So the Ringer put out a question on Twitter about on like Friday, which retro jersey needs to make a comeback? And then some of the top ones that caught my eye that I agreed with was the purple Raptors one with the full cartoon dinosaur.
Exactly. The
Phoenix Suns Starburst, the basketball coming out.
I got that one.
Just checking here with anyone in the chat. You guys, any other ones you can think of?
Did
That
they mention the Vancouver Grizzlies? The original Vancouver Grizzlies?
No,
didn't.
my
The ones
God,
with the
that's a
Yeah, with the tribal pattern.
Yeah.
But I like the black one, not the turquoise one.
ooh.
The Mike Bibby one. That
Yeah.
Oh, Bibby.
I am not familiar with those.
Let's say the baby one was
Vancouver
sweet.
Grizzlies.
Yeah. Just look that bad boy up.
I
That
like
was
the
fire.
Raptor one that you.
the Raptor one.
It's really hilarious, actually.
This
Someone put your
Yeah,
buddy
that
Jason put nuggets with the rainbow skyline.
yes,
Ooh,
I
like
saw that one a lot too.
The '80s Nets jersey. Does anybody know what that one looks like?
Yeah, it's baby blue and red.
Baby blue and red.
Yeah.
Why does that? Why can't I picture it?
Oh, like predominantly white with baby blue and red. I see it. Okay, yeah.
Boom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one. Some other retro jerseys.
Let's see.
You know what? Real talk. Like, I mean, the old school Charlotte Hornets was like fire.
My first starter jacket was a fucking Hornets
See?
one.
See, I mentioned that on my show. I think it was either last week or the week before. Matter of fact, Liz, I think it was the episode you were on when we were talking about like merchandise and stuff. And,
Oh, yeah,
and I said
yeah.
the Charlotte Hornets have like one of the number one selling
That is
merchandise in the NBA because of their colorway and the old logo.
That's
Yeah.
Like that would be epic if they brought that back.
That's
oh,
correct.
so nice.
Mark, who has another show here on the Good News, said that the Vancouver ones are coming back,
Oh,
Word.
and the rumors got
Pinstripes.
released a few days ago.
wow.
Yeah, shout out to Gunnels with the
I
insider
know.
information.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He's also saying Penny Shack Orlando
Yes, those
pinstripes.
the
those
Hardaway
are cool.
pins. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are sweet.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway.
Bullets jerseys. Oh God.
No,
Oh no! Let's not.
not the bullets.
This guy.
That was horrible.
Oh man, someone had a Red Bull before the show started. You're on
I thought
fire.
it said the
Nick
Bulls
said-
jersey. I was like, oh yes.
I mean, but has the Bulls jersey ever really changed?
yeah, remember the
Well, mine is
Chicago one?
Yeah,
the cursive?
Yeah, the cursive. Yeah.
that was
Oh,
Jordan's
that's-
rookie year.
That's a nice one.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Then.
All right.
What are some of the wackest old school
Okay.
jerseys that should never come back and see the light
Oh,
of
that's
day?
a good one, Mark.
What are some of the wackest ones? Well, doesn't the Lakers have one that's like a baby blue one?
Oh, really? You don't like that one?
I don't
Oh,
care
wait,
for
or is
that.
the baby blue and yellow where it's
For
MPLS?
Yeah,
Minneapolis.
yeah.
All right.
I'm not a fan of the orange and navy Warriors ones, like back
Oh,
with Monte.
I
And,
love
yeah,
those
I'm
ones.
not into that one at all. I trash
The
that one.
pinstripe Rockets jerseys. Facts. Facts. Those suck.
No, those
Oh,
are
wait,
those are
don't-
dope. With
don't
Steve
the-
Francis. Oh my god.
Don't the Spurs have one too that looks like
those
it's
are
all
horrendous.
gray?
Those
Aren't
are
they
ugly. Yeah,
terrible?
those
those look like something like it just looks like old timey like newsy boys
yeah.
wear. You know what I mean?
And like their army theme, or like those.
Yeah.
those I don't like
No.
the digital print. I'm like,
You know-
No,
No, I
digital print
remember-
camo. No.
Do you guys remember the Sacramento Kings two-tone purple and black jerseys?
Yeah.
Where like one side was purple, the other side was black?
Oh,
Oh,
my
no, no, no.
God! Like the
that did
Joker,
happen. That did happen.
Okay.
the old green Mavs jerseys.
oh yeah, those are ugly with Steve Nash and
Oh,
yeah.
oh
Yes, I remember
yeah.
those.
Those aren't fun, good at all. Let's see. The baby blue Lakers jersey is trash. Okay.
There's some Sonics jerseys out
Yeah.
there that I didn't like either.
Really?
Like,
Then you just bring the whole team back.
Just bring the
I
whole
know,
Super Sonics
right?
back. Yes.
well, bring the Supersonics back, but like, remember when they went from like that bright green, like the green and bright yellow to
Yeah.
like green and red,
Oh,
where they went
Oh,
to
yeah.
like a forest green and a dark burgundy.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those I wasn't the biggest fan of. The ones right before that though, I
Yeah.
can dig.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Well, it's like, do you guys wear the, like what is it, Mitchell and Ness? They make the
throwbacks?
The throwbacks.
Backs. Yeah.
Top notch.
Do you guys actually play in those? I
Oh,
mean,
no.
I would
Who
think
plays
because
in
they're
them?
very
Absolutely not.
expensive, right?
Who plays
No.
in those? Who
If
still
you-
plays in
I don't
jerseys?
know. Like, I don't
If you
know.
play in
I'm
that,
asking.
you're
First of all,
trying
if you
way too
grown
hard.
if you a grown man and you playing in a damn throwback jersey,
If I walk
got
into LA
major issues
Fitness
with
and
you.
you're wearing a Mitchell and Ness jersey, I'm like, nah.
If you're wearing it to a game or something, I mean that's cool, but like
That's
playing in
That's
it?
a lifestyle
Oh,
jersey.
so it's lifestyle.
Yeah, not a game jersey.
Okay, got it.
That you gonna play in it?
Good to know.
Christ.
So I will know that for when I'm going to the gym. Well, they're also really expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They're like super expensive. We went to the store in Philadelphia,
yeah.
and everything there, I mean, was
It's like $300.
300
yeah,
bucks.
300
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Some of them like 250.
Let's see. I don't know how I feel about those green Grant Hill
yeah.
Pistons. Or
That's a
something.
good one.
Oh, that's
And
a
I'm from
good call
Detroit.
out.
That's an era that we just like we admire the logo with the flaming piston or with the flaming horse rather. But
Well,
those
yeah.
weren't the best ones.
Yeah. And then almost every 90s All-Star jersey is terrible. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Point taken. Good point. Good point.
You must not be a '90s kid.
No.
Yeah.
No, he is. Let's see. Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
discussion.
that was a good one. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, this I just came across, so it's like hot from social. TNT cancels players only NBA broadcasts.
That's cool.
And I approve.
Me too.
I don't really know what that is.
So basically, they have players broadcasting the games.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, they don't.
And they did that on Tuesday nights.
They did that.
Oh yeah, like during
That was a Tuesday night thing.
non-NBA night. Yeah.
did not enjoy it at all, and so I mean, I could see why they would. Most people didn't enjoy it,
And
How-
the ratings
you don't-
probably showed that. I mean, we weren't even. John and I both weren't familiar with it. 'Cause
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, some people do because they're like, "Oh, we want to hear players
No,
who have
stick to
played
the game.
talk about it." I don't
Is
know.
that the
Mark,
one like
what do
on
you think?
Twitter?
No,
No.
like it was on TV.
Yeah, it's on TV.
And they
Oh.
would, like they would get not their top roster of like commentators, and they would get like guys that are trying to become commentators and do it on Tuesday nights. So like you wouldn't even see Kenny, EJ, and Shaq like doing halftime. Like
Yeah.
they weren't. They
That's
would
the
come
only
on
true
exclusively
you need.
Thursdays.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, I agree with you. I was not a fan of that, and it just, I don't. I mean, I can't pinpoint why. It just didn't.
There's only like few. It's a small Venn diagram of players that can broadcast or potentially.
And they weren't
Transition to it.
broadcasting. Like
No.
they were just talking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you get people who are masters of their craft talking in a way where the average audience member is like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's not the back and forth banter, and then they just get into talking their lingo. So
Right.
you completely eliminated everybody watching. So I can pretty much watch it on mute.
Yeah, yeah. And we would.
See?
Yeah,
Or play with some music in the
yeah,
background.
yeah. We would just put it on mute because it's just I don't
Yeah, that's
need to
not-
hear it. I'll just watch it and play music in the background.
Dom's Knicks fans, like, they would go to
So,
2 minutes of dead air.
Anonymous Knicks fan, yeah, they would be like 2 minutes of dead air. Correct. Let's see, your buddy Jason. Dennis Scott always tried to get people to repeat players only, baby.
Oh no, sad. Trying to make fetch happen. It's okay.
I agree with it. So only good player commentator is Clyde Frazier, and I 100% agree with that.
Period.
Like I almost feel bad that he has to be on the sports. I mean on the Knicks. Like I almost feel bad. Like I wish that he was on a better team,
Yeah.
so that he could have a longer season of him talking.
Yeah, at least in the post.
I just love his like vernacular, and also like his insights are really cool. I mean, his suits are out of control.
Yeah, he's a
I love
legend.
them. And then additionally, we've gone to his Wine and Dine.
Oh,
Clyde's Wine and Dine in
Wow.
Manhattan,
Excuse
and it's
me.
an experience.
Wow, luxurious.
Fabulous! If you get a chance, take a date there.
Oh.
Yeah, and him. Well, I took my
Fly me out to
yeah.
New York, date.
Yeah, and I think he works really well with Breen. I think they do a really good job together. You know, that's why I like Mark Jackson and Van Gundy.
Because together, yes.
Together
Together
That's
they
not
make
me.
good. Yeah.
I'm not a Mark Jackson
I don't
fan,
want to hear
period.
Reggie Miller ever.
I actually really like Reggie Miller because he breaks down.
of course you do.
There's an honor-
Reggie Miller, the Nick Killer,
I know, he should
baby.
be shot out of a cannon.
I just like too on Twitter. Right when Reggie Miller would talk, they would just start killing him, and they'd be like, we'd rather hear your sister. You know, they would just like go to town. Like no one
Yeah.
ever wanted to hear
Right,
Reggie.
right.
I agree. Like he's a little bit grating. I didn't like who's the guy that played for the Kings?
You don't like Chris Webber?
I don't like.
Oh well, anonymous Knicks fan has something.
No,
Oh,
I wasn't
say
a
about
fan.
that.
I wasn't a
Different
fan of Chris
opinions.
Webber either.
I like Chris. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say he's gotten much better over the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has improved drastically. 'Cause
Okay, I can
when he
agree with
first
that.
got on, it was like, dog, stop.
Yeah,
But he's gotten better. I think he's gotten the necessary training.
Okay. So there aren't a lot of players that do well. I don't think they compare all players.
Right. Right.
A player
Especially
in the-
during a game. That's a tough skill set.
Well, also, I mean, I totally agree with you, but when I think about it, like Shaq isn't that great.
That's why he's halftime and
That's why he
post
does
show and
pregame,
pre-show. Yes.
halftime,
Yes.
postgame.
Exactly.
He's there for the commentary,
Yeah.
not the other stuff.
Yes.
People go there to see him and Charles just go at
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
That's the
all you care
comedy
about.
piece
Yeah.
of it.
Kenny's good though, and Kenny was
Kenny's
a former
good.
player,
And
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
also will say this too. Most of the people we've mentioned, Chris Webber, well, outside of Chris Webber, so Shaq, Barkley, Clyde, I think, and a couple other ones are like Hall of Fame players. Kenny wasn't a Hall of Fame player. I think there's something to being so great at your profession to translating that off the court and still being relevant within the sport. For example, guys who have been legendary players suck as coaches. And guys that have been the sixth man,
Yeah, like
and guys
middle
who really had to study the
band,
game,
yeah.
So
are
what-
great at it because they've spent most of the time watching it.
So, but what about
Interesting.
like Tim Duncan? He's not going to be a coach.
We
Yep.
will see.
So do you? But do you think that he has the potential to be a great coach? Or to your point,
Yeah,
since
'cause he's-
so
He
good
could.
at-
I think
Legend.
he could be a great coach only because, at least, and this is me having
Okay.
no experience of knowing him.
right.
But I think he has a approach that is realistic when it comes to players that are under him. Saying, "Hey, you may not ever be me. I don't ever expect you to be, but
Okay.
put in your time." Because that's the thing with great players; they're looking for the next version of them, which
Oh, that's an interesting take.
it's hard to duplicate that, especially when you've been so great at it for so long.
Interesting.
And there's not many others like you in that tier. So therefore, you're pushing people to expectations and limits that they'll never come to because you are a once in a generational talent. Michael
Okay.
Jordan sucks as an owner. Kobe Bryant would not be a good
I
NBA
don't know.
coach.
What do you think,
Kobe?
John? Kobe, would he be a good coach?
He's good at kids.
Commentator?
Kobe, I don't think he would be a good coach. I think he'd be a good GM, president, or any of the higher executives. But as a coach, I think he's more one-on-one based
Right.
with like Jason Tatum or like anybody else. But as a coach, I don't see him as that.
What do you think about him being commentator?
Him being a commentator? No.
Have you listened to him on Detail?
I know.
Have you heard
That's
any of
a
his
no.
interviews or the way he speaks? And like, I can listen to him for hours talk about basketball all the time.
Okay.
He can break down the game. Like, have you seen his new?
Yeah, Detail.
Yeah, in the detail, like
Okay.
he's gold.
So you do think he could be a good commentator?
I don't think that
yeah,
translates to
post,
being a good commentator,
pregame,
though.
yeah,
Okay.
I
halftime.
think that's
Okay.
great film study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if
Okay.
somebody wants to learn how to watch a game of basketball
Okay.
from a master at it,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
But
But translating that to the
okay,
general
but do
fan.
you guys do see though that there are a lot of these players? Katie has boardroom. LeBron
Copycat.
has the barbershop.
Yep.
They're
Curry's got the
definitely
Facebook
trying
Live one, yep.
to transition themselves as a brand that does interviews. I mean,
Yeah.
is this? Do you like the boardroom? Have you guys watched the boardroom at all, with Katie? Do you like
Nope.
it? Do you think he can do a good job?
I mean, I think it's them being candid about their experiences as professional athletes in the modern age of what it takes to be a professional athlete with making more money than that was ever made in the past. And what are they doing with that money to elevate themselves and who they are learning from to become obviously better people.
I find it very interesting. I think it's a great conversation because I feel like the modern player is definitely in this transition phase, as we've been talking about in past shows, and I know, Mark, you've talked about it as well. It's just that we're looking at these players that are taking their own destiny and making decisions about where they want to play, who they want to play with,
Yeah.
and now, like, what is going to be beyond just a shoe deal. And so communication seems to be something that they think, well, I've dealt with a lot of, shit in the spotlight, in the game. I know a ton about the game. So I can easily be someone that talks.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
And it's
about
different
it.
because when you look at the NFL and the MLB and then compared to the NBA, and you see that Adam Silver is actually behind the players, and they know that they have a platform to not just be a basketball player. They have other topics that they want to talk about and contribute to society on issues that stem from what we're struggling every day with, like racism and all that stuff. And so I think it's great to have a commissioner like Adam Silver to come out and say that I support them 100%. And so what they're doing is great, in my opinion.
And I think too, it's easier to. In all being truth and honest, it's easier to make more money when you come off as personable, when you can be
When you have
quote,
empathy.
unquote, empathy,
What'd you
but
say?
just relatable. Or you can be a quote unquote fan favorite that people go, hey, I like that guy's personality.
Okay.
In addition to what they do on the court, because let's face it, if you are great but you're quiet, it's hard. Not that it's it's impossible. We've seen Tim Duncan make extra money. We are watching Kawhi Leonard do it.
Yep.
In the most unconventional way, but he's
time.
doing a great job. He's doing a great job being himself and being true to that. And so once you are true to who you are, selling the rest of it is easy because it's who and what you're selling, which is yourself. So if you're quiet and you're are going to sell that, well then sell being quiet.
Right. Okay.
Kawhi has a complete advertising campaign where he doesn't say a word.
Yes.
But it works.
That's his brand.
And
It's
his
his
brand.
brand.
And the shirt speaks for itself.
Yeah.
His game speaks for itself. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's something you can sell to up and coming kids, which is let your game talk for itself. You don't have to do everything else.
No shit talking, no nothing.
Quickly in the chat, because this is heating up the chat. It says here Brian Scalabrine is a commentator, but I think he said all-star. Is he an all-star? Because you mentioned all-stars
He was
have
not
a
an
difficult
all-star.
time.
He was not
Yeah,
an
I didn't
all-star.
think so.
He's like an all-star fan favorite.
Wasn't he the White Mamba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, I thought he was part of
Yeah, he does do commentating.
but no, I
I've
thought he
seen
was
him.
part of the not all-star, but I think the Olympic team at one point, and he was like, they did a group photo on Twitter. People couldn't seem to like
You sure he
figure
wasn't?
him out.
You sure he
I'm gonna
didn't
look
Photoshop
it
I'm
up.
sure he
himself?
didn't vote. Yeah, exactly.
Because the dude looks like Michael Rappaport for crying out loud.
I
Just
know. It
taller.
could have been him, actually.
Rappaport's hilarious.
Let's see. Your buddy Jason says Charles Oakley should start calling games.
No, wait, actually, that would be really funny.
That would be great.
That would be funny.
You see his fit at the Knicks. Oh my god.
Oh my God! I don't know. He's not allowed back in MSG, so I don't know where
That's
he'd have to do it.
unfortunate.
He'd have to do it from his closet, like like when we started our podcast, just with a microphone. I think it's a really good conversation to have. Like, what how can they transition? And
And I
to your
think
point.
players are getting more educated on how they can do that. And obviously, and I'll say this from personal experience working within the NBA and the NFL, there are programs in place that are immediately set up for them and provided to them from the day they get into the league to say, hey, start thinking about life after this because it's not guaranteed. Whether it's
That's
injury,
interesting.
whether it's injury or you just don't make somebody's roster, here's
Right.
other things you can do to continue to, grow your wealth, grow your
Right.
acumen in other fields and industries. Here's internships that are available, not just within the commentating world, but also other Fortune 500 companies that are looking for people who are competitive.
Right.
That's a big key word when people are looking for jobs. We want somebody who's competitive.
Do you think that? Well, we also have WNBA players, right, who transition, and I think they do a pretty good job in transitioning.
Lisa
to
Leslie,
the-
she's
Yeah,
she's excellent.
yeah. I could see a lot of that transitioning very easily as well.
And unfortunately, WNBA players, I think, as observing, they have to do it a little bit earlier, unfortunately, just because the longevity of some of their careers may not be as long as, top-tier NBA players.
Good point. Yeah, that was very interesting. I didn't know where that was going to go, but I knew that I didn't like the player. I knew
That's
that
fair.
was true.
That's
I knew
fair.
that
was the
was
original
true.
question.
Yeah, that was the original question. So yes. Also, okay, so I think as far as, do we have anything else for social, Karen? Did you have anything you wanted to pull?
No, I think we're good. Should we start that little break transition?
Let's do a little break. We'll do a little break music here. Let's do it. we go. I did want to bring up the WNBA All-Star Weekend is happening this weekend. So they had the draft televised for the first time for this All-Star. And the two team captains were Elena Del Don and Asia Wilson, who Asia Wilson got injured in, I think it was 2 games ago.
No.
So she's not even going to play. So
she cold though.
Okay, so this is what I thought was really funny. So they had 3 aces in the as all-stars.
Okay.
And Asia picked Chelsea Gray from the Sparks as her first pick. And then she didn't even pick Liz Cambage till the 3rd pick.
Shit.
And Elena was like, I know you'll probably want to pick your girls, right? So I'm not going to pick them. And she was like, yeah, no. And she just kept picking 2 other players before Liz.
I think that's fun though. I mean, you get to play with other players around the league.
Okay,
you
but
play with them all the time.
Okay, so if we're all on a team, and the captain of the All-Star is our teammate, and she don't pick us. I mean, I don't know.
I don't feel
I'd be
offended.
butthurt.
I wouldn't.
I
we
would
see
feel
each
a
other
little bit
all the
hurt.
time.
That's kind of like LeBron not picking it. I don't know.
Well, you.
I'm winning soon. There's no ill will. It's just it's the All-Star game. It's a chance to mix. It's a chance to mix it up a little bit. So
she's just trying to pick the best players that she sees fit. But if
that's
kind
cold.
of
That's cold though. So what you're saying is that your players are not the top 2. You're
I wouldn't even say it's not that they're the top 2. It's just
no hard feelings.
I just want to play with somebody else.
I'm just I'm trying to win.
Just for this one game that doesn't count.
I think that shit's petty.
Damn.
Because I want exactly. Thank you. Because I don't know, Karen. What if I didn't pick you to be on my team?
I'm gonna try to act like I'm hard, but then I'd cry later and really think about it for a week. My self-worth.
Well, it was funny too because Elena Del Don said, because they've done this a few times now, and they're like, well, my tip is don't pick someone that parties hard.
Okay.
And Liz Cambage, who's also a DJ, is going to DJ during the All-Star weekend. So I could understand why Asia would be like, yeah,
you busy girl.
Are you going to be fit to play? Or are you going to be partying hard, So I don't know. I still thought that was a little bit cold. And what sucks too is that the 2 Sparks players, Nneka Umake was a reserve, and Chelsea Gray was a starter, and each of them picked one of them. So I'm torn because I'm like, who am I going to root for? What team?
Whichever one you want, because it's a mix.
Well, that's the thing. They have.
It's hard. It's hard when you're switching between team favorites or player favorites.
I know. I'm probably going to pick Asia's team to win, just because Chelsea Gray to me is the point god, and I absolutely love her, and I love Liz Cambage.
So you're going for underdog?
I don't even think they're I think the teams are very evenly split, to tell you the truth. They both have shooters. They both have height. They both have none of them pick too many rookies.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good. It's going to be a really good game if they decide that they're going to play for real, because there's no defense in All-Star games.
Right? Yeah. It's all just showing off the shots and having fun.
There is absolutely no defense.
And you don't want to get hurt.
None of them trying to get hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. That is the truth of it.
It's like a barbecue, summer barbecue.
Where is it this year?
Vegas.
Oh,
yeah, let's go, John. This weekend.
It was this weekend in Vegas. I thought so the draft being televised, it was the first time in the history
on Tuesday.
And I have not read it yet, but The Athletic put out a new piece about the origins of the WNBA, which I know when on our last episode, we talked about that, kind of how old it's been and how it's come up, and where it's at. If you think about it in relation to how much the NBA, I think our last guest was saying, our context of what the NBA is and has been are these private jets and these charter planes and all this so when we then look at the WNBA with commercial flights, we forget that that's kind of where the NBA started.
Right.
So I think it's interesting. You know, like I said, I haven't read the piece yet. You guys should check it out. We'll put it in our links, but it's the origins of the WNBA, and I think that'll be really great as a starter for anybody who wants to jump in.
Yeah, no, I mean, the WNBA is phenomenal. I mean, I definitely advocate for the sport. I definitely advocate for the league, and I mentioned to you even on my last show when you were a guest, Liz. I have a fandom and I have a history with the league myself. I mean, quick story. When I was small and I was hanging out with my aunt in D.C., you know, Mystics are obviously there. And we went to a game. She took me to a game. And I remember going to the team store, you know, you get the little mini balls or whatever. But me being a person of detail, I looked at the ball, and then I saw a picture of the same logo like on a piece of paper, and they didn't match. And I complained. And my aunt was like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, you know, write a letter or, you know, call the league office. Right. And we did. And then the commissioner of the league at the time called me back.
Really?
And I was like,
wow.
I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Oh.
And she's like, thanks for noticing that, because when we sell our product, it has to be what it is.
That's great.
And then she sent me an official WNBA ball when I went back to Detroit as a thank you for looking at a minor detail.
That's
Mind
important.
you, I was a kid.
That's important.
And a boy. Like, she probably wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know, like the ball doesn't match what's on the paper.
Yeah.
It should match.
Right.
Yes, agreed.
No, I think that's a great.
That's just me being a little asshole about it, but I was like, hey, and I told somebody, like, this ain't matching. You're selling the wrong thing.
It's all good. That's great.
I think that's great. That's amazing. Yeah. So, and you know what, John? Do you watch the WNBA?
I don't. I barely watch the NBA, to be honest.
What?
Yeah.
He just watches Kobe
All right, first of all,
I
playbacks.
like watching highlights, but I just don't watch TV in general.
He just
so.
watches MJ and Kobe
Okay,
highlights.
it's because
do.
you don't pay your bills, or why?
I know,
You have
cable
TV?
cutter.
No, I just don't watch TV at all. Yeah.
Oh, he's just busy
I don't
meditating
understand. Like,
and dealing with internet trolls.
Yeah.
wait, but so little background. You're in our fantasy league, our NBA fantasy league.
Right now?
You
No,
were.
when we were last
Oh,
season.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't on there.
Did I not
I was.
invite you?
I was on the March Madness one.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
All
For
right.
turning.
I got a basketball
All right.
fantasy league.
Yeah.
What up?
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. We'll do we'll do
okay.
one for the good news. We'll
No,
create a
yeah,
league, for
we
sure.
definitely we love it. Like we do like a draft. We actually have a live draft.
We're also
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for
With
we're
beers
also
and
looking for
everything.
fantasy brand sponsors.
Oh, here we go. Hoe it
Shout out
out.
to FanDuel. DraftKings Club.
Call it draft
DraftKings,
queen.
right? But so okay, so I thought you were in it, but you were in March
But,
Madness.
John,
you
you
watch
play-
college ball?
I watch college ball.
And
a
you
lot.
play, you
Where's your
hoop,
school?
right? You do league.
I do a couple leagues out here.
There you go.
Okay.
He's trying to work his guns, you know.
I don't have that much. No, we're good. Stay in shape.
You're in good shape. You're in good
Yeah.
shape. Okay. All right.
We all trying.
We try. We try. Well, so that means no on WNBA because you then don't do NBA.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this does not pertain to it all. Okay. Well, just to recap, the WNBA will be having their All-Star Weekend this weekend in Las Vegas, and it will be televised. So you guys
What
can
channel?
catch it.
ESPN?
Oh yes, I believe ESPN or ESPN2, maybe.
Cool.
You can go to WNBA.com and they'll have that, and they're gonna do the whole like shoot around and those type, the regular contests that they do the day before, and then the game is actually on the 27th, which is a Saturday.
Sure.
So yeah, that is
That's
mystical.
Oh,
That does not
see, you
work.
gotta ask somebody, baby.
You got it. Yeah.
I control this board.
I know, right?
Clearly.
Okay, so that actually wraps everything we had on our lovely list for Getting Social. Unless you guys have a topic or something you saw today, but if not, let's move it along to something that I think is really important as a segue from Getting Social is internet trolls.
Yes.
And I think this is really okay. I don't mean to pick on our guest John,
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Is this picking on you?
but okay. So
Self-proclaimed troll at that.
yes, self-proclaimed
Internet
troll.
trolls?
So John has an Instagram account called @ProtectHomeschooling. Home Court. You guys should check it out. It's really awesome. It's and you know what, John, I'll let you explain it because I'd love to hear like how you decided to do this, how you created it, and you know what is, you know, what are you finding? Because I think, you know, a lot of our listeners, we like to talk about social, and I think that would be great for you to explain to us.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been a defensive player all my life. I played ball ever since I was like 3 or 4. And so I grew up with the game, basketball. That's been my number one passion ever since I was little. And so, I mean, I wanted to start a blog, and I wanted to be something creative as well. And so I know my coach in high school used to say, protect home court. Like, when someone comes to the house, you got to protect your home court as like a defensive mindset, as like everything. It's just, that's just like a motto of like all around sports too as well. And so I was like, all right, let's do protect home court. And I saw a couple of like visionaries too out there that I ended up connecting with later down the road. And so we're just like one big community of basketball players, and I wanted to just spread love for the game. That's simple as that, and just post courts of all over the world. And so, and just bring a community together. And so I ended up posting, I think it was like 2 years ago, and I got a couple followers, and then next thing you know, it was a couple thousand, and then it started growing from there. And so here we are, and just I met a lot of people through it. And so I think it's just a great way to just connect with people and connect with people with the game. So
how do you source the photos?
I have a process. There's a different process I can definitely show you. But it's the same thing as like reaching out to them. Hey, can you post this photo through DM and everything? So they'll just give me the photo, and I'll just post it for them.
Okay. And so as part of your, I mean, you've grown organically.
Yeah.
And you're now like almost at 7,000 followers.
Yeah.
And how long have you had?
I think only like a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
That's just, I have I have like several other Instagram accounts too as well, but
burner accounts? Are you like Katie?
No, not like that. But this one is like, I almost sold this account, but I almost sold this one, but this one is like,
you almost sold it.
I've sold accounts before, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you mean like you
in the past? And like
he'll steal the names and then sell
people
them.
will reach out to you and be like, "Hey, can I buy this account?"
So you're like you grab like at Michael Jordan.
MJ
That's actually illegal, but no. But I mean, this one, Protect Home Court, that's like my passion. So if I can just connect people to the game, I think that's part of my mission.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know.
Do you own the Hoops Talk? Because
right.
we're trying to get that one.
Yeah,
I know. Seriously. So there is like that whole process where you have to fill out a form, and we've done that before to like people have certain names that go dormant.
Yeah.
Because people just buy up.
Names
or they just hold them.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it is a little annoying. So okay. So that's awesome. And then I know that you've had to deal with some trolling.
Yeah.
Because
you want to read that dialogue?
Well,
I'm happy to be the troll.
I followed it because I think it's actually beautiful, and I think everybody should check it out.
Can I do voices with you? I'll be the troll. You could be John.
It's called Protect Home Court, and it's on Instagram, and it's so beautiful. Like I'm so impressed. Like how they're from around the world.
Yeah, these courts are gorgeous.
And I've met people from all over, from like 50 countries. It's crazy.
Really?
Wow. Yes, it's unbelievable.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, who knew there were so many basketball courts all around the world?
No, it's nuts. And like
they're elaborate.
Yeah. We found that one in China that was like hidden.
Yeah.
And then my mom, I'm hitting up the Philippines in next week.
You should take some photos and send them to John.
Yeah, we have some cool looking fucking basketball courts.
I think you're the first person I ever told about Protect Home Court.
Okay, why? Because
I don't know. Like I said, I'm the guy behind the scenes. Like I don't want to push me out. Like I'm pushing a vision out. And like if you can connect to that, then
yeah. But I mean, you have friends that.
No, I know. Yeah.
You just never wanted to contact me. I didn't make myself very accessible. You
just didn't want to contact me.
I'm like, well, he worked for me. We have to have some sort of like barrier where I'm like, and so sometimes that transcends into like real life. So
I got a question for you, John. Have you yet come across like a shoe company, so like Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, like reach out to you and be like, hey, where's that court? We would love to host a 3-on-3 tournament there.
No, I have not, but I've seen campaigns.
Like
I don't want to throw a brand underneath, but they did a similar campaign to to my account, but
I mean,
Oh, really?
it's all love. It's I don't.
Yeah, they say a lot of time. I mean, even our guests from last episode, it's like really nothing's original.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing
Yeah, all
is
ideas
original.
are stolen.
Like it's just about like
Stemming from your creativity, from something you see, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
boom, and it bounces off each other. And
people get really upset though if they think you're stealing from them. As
Of
per
course.
that
As
troll.
per-
let's go to that
Yes.
troll.
Which, okay, so I
Yes.
pulled this up.
Which post? I'm trying to look for it.
You know what? We have it saved in our Instagram. So I don't know, John, if this will trigger you
Here,
into
John.
PTSD about
Pull
this.
it because I want to. I
The
want to do the
interaction
voice.
wasn't that
It wasn't
bad,
bad,
but it
but-
was like.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I think you handled it. I wouldn't have handled it that
Yeah, I wouldn't have wasted
first
my
off,
energy there
you know,
for sure.
like, if someone comes at you, I'm coming right back. Like that's protect. What do you
yes.
think protect home court means? If someone's gonna come on my account and start talking that nonsense,
That is true.
I'm gonna protect my account.
No, I
Like,
agree with you.
What's my bio literally says spreading love for the game of
Yeah, it's
basketball.
not trying to claim
And then
that.
if you sit here and like,
Yeah.
What? This I don't-
So basically, I'm gonna have to go, Karen. Can't
it.
wait for you to do your voices. So a local well, should I
Nah,
say their
I mean,
name?
it doesn't
Okay, I'm not
matter.
gonna say their name. I'm not gonna say their name. So basically, this other account said to never forget to credit the photographer, and so you do credit the photographer.
I do.
Yeah.
Like in
Most
every
of the time,
post,
if they're
you have that
tagged.
Look what I
credit.
responded after.
So, and then he credited who the photographer was,
And it
like
wasn't
as in
even his.
saying that, right? And then you responded. There's 3 replies here. You responded, "I never forget to credit the photographer if you've been following this account, son."
that son.
Mad
I had to son
Steez
him.
Oh, yeah, I
or
found it.
whoever didn't have him tagged, so don't get it twisted. And then you again went at him and said, "I appreciate you for following this account without actually following this account," which was good. And then he or she, this account came back and said, "You have it twisted because I was out with so-and-so and shot this with him on Go Hoop Day." And then you said in all caps, "Learn to read." And then that person came back with you with, "Keep copying our feed. It's looking great." And then you in all caps responded with, "Ha ha ha. Your subpar ass account is trash.
Damn.
Keep following us though. We appreciate you." And then you go on to say you've contacted the photographer and it wasn't him and you look dumb AF. And then that photographer came out and said, "Not that serious, bro. He's just looking out for us because people don't give us da 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 da. Like I said in the DM, you didn't read. Thanks, carry on." And then you
DM that he
wrote,
deleted.
"Both of y'all can hop off my account."
Honestly,
Hop
it's
off
like,
these nuts.
like I'm literally trying to spread love for the game.
And then someone's
My
coming to
captions
troll.
are all positive, and I don't
Why,
know
okay, so why even
why
even
pretend to the
respond?
trolls?
Yep.
So
True.
you, it's like about protecting.
Yeah,
the
I
court.
mean, it's like, well, if you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna come at you. So it's like, but I obviously, as I grow, if I grow
Right.
more, there's gonna be a lot more trolls. And
Sure.
So how are you gonna block off all of that? But,
Sure. I mean, the
it was just in the moment, I guess.
the formula that you have is one that is. I mean, I could start doing it.
Yeah,
you know,
anybody can do
so
it.
anyone can do it. So it's really about like putting in the work
Exactly. Yeah.
and really loving the product.
That's just
Right?
that's just it. Like
And-
I don't make any money from that. I don't
Right.
want to make money from that.
Right.
Like it doesn't. That just helps me get up in my daily morning routine.
Got it.
And that's like part of
A
my
ritual.
That's part of my ritual. And
love that.
it's like people love it. People reach out to me in like
Yeah.
every country. I swear. And it's like, oh, we love what you do. Blah blah blah. Keep inspiring.
That's awesome.
And it's amazing feeling. So if I can just do that and just like have someone connect to the game, then I've done my job. So
I think that's fantastic. I thought, because like I said, I really do think that the images are amazing. Right?
Yeah.
and
you
I think
curate great ones.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that the whole mission of what you want to do is, spread love and
Yeah.
the love of the game. And I know, knowing you, I do know it's totally authentic because
Yeah.
you do love the game. But it's just funny how internet trolls.
yeah,
Mark, what have you ever had
No.
run-ins? No, what? I don't believe that.
Yes.
I really don't. Like, I really have. And I mean, I think it's because also my social media presence isn't that strong where people, or I attract trolls.
Yeah.
And
So
I-
you're saying we
No, well, I think if you, it's not that you attract them. I think once you get big enough,
Yeah, then
they
you will.
come anyway.
They're
No
gonna-
matter who you
Yeah.
are,
Exactly.
what
True.
you do,
Okay.
somebody looking to make somebody else's day just miserable.
Got it.
Or a bot, whatever the case may be. But if you have the following, well, yeah, obviously trolls go to where there's a following because there's the audience.
Yep.
I don't have that big of an audience.
Yeah.
It's kind of been that way from the jump.
Okay.
And it's still, I keep it that way a little bit. If my show and my Instagram thing grows,
Right.
fine.
Okay.
And I'll deal with it then. But if somebody's going to just troll and talk shit,
Yeah.
Right.
like, first of all, you're not fucking up with my money. You're not fucking up with my peace and my
Okay.
happiness. And you're not
Yes.
fucking up with my family. So, therefore, I have no reason to respond.
True.
I don't. If you interfere with any of those three in any given order, we got a problem.
So do you think, though, that when you do see athletes that respond to their trolls, are you like, he ain't messing with your money, why are you responding?
Well,
I think that, but go ahead, John.
when you get to a certain level as an NBA elite star like Kevin Durant,
Right.
and you're making burner accounts to defend yourself. Now that's like, come on,
That's
That's next
right.
level.
Fucked
But-
up level.
you have millions of followers. We're not talking about like a couple thousand. We're talking about a couple million all over the world. And so, at what point
Right.
you just have to block them all out? Like you don't
And
have
I
to pay
think, but I
attention
also
to it.
think that's hard too.
Yeah, that
Yep.
is.
Especially I look at it like this: ignore how much money they make, what they do. Any child that's ever walked this earth has been picked on at some
Yep.
point, and so the natural, normal thing to do, if you never become a millionaire, is to deal with it, grow from it, move on with your life, and you figure out how that's made you a better person. But in sports, where we're taught to get back at people, revenge,
Okay.
avenge this, da. And that's always a fuel and motivation for you. You never truly get over it as an adult. So therefore, you revert back to childish ways and find people that are talking shit about you.
Right.
Now, some people can do that and say, hey, all right, somebody talked
Right.
bad about me today. I'm going to go off for 50 and
Right.
ignore the rest of their life. Unless you have horrible coping skills as a human being.
Right.
And I think sometimes we forget that as human beings, some of us learn great coping skills, some of us don't.
Yep.
But do you think that, like, in those coping skills that, you know, Kawhi does not have a social presence, and he said, I don't need one because everybody tells me what's going on social about me, around me.
Yep.
So
I believe
he is
that.
now a champion. Right? He's a champion. When LeBron decided I'm going to be a champion, he turned off his social.
Yep.
He stopped being on it. Who almost made it but didn't was Joel Embiid, and we saw him looking at someone else's phone when he was sitting on the bench. You know,
There was a situation behind that.
but in
allegedly.
any case, it's like, and I get that, but it's like, what, like, should we say, like, hey, if you to cope with it when you're playing, you should not be on social media.
Your phone should
Yeah,
even
agreed.
be out on the bench. It should be in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
should.
understand why. That's just
I mean, if the guy was really having a serious issue, he should not be on the bench.
That's fair.
You know,
That's
in my
a fair point.
opinion.
That's a fair
But you
point.
know, I don't know, because I know, like, even okay. So let's say you do. I'm not an athlete, you know, and they go through a definite, like, exercise. They go through like massive amounts of core work and to fine tune their bodies, right? So I don't do that, but if I see a weird comment, it fucks up my whole day.
Oh yeah.
You know, it gets because I'm just like,
gets under
I'm
my
like,
skin.
oh, you know, do I respond? I don't. I normally don't. I usually will just be like, oh, who cares? But it does, like, you know, it can fuck.
But it,
I
it
think
helps
I
you
think that's
develop
natural,
thicker
too.
skin because think about it. These trolls, they don't even have the courage to put anything out there, right?
Yeah, it's not their real name. It's
You
not their
start
fucking
your own
face.
business. You start your own podcast. You start your own blog account, and you have the courage enough to like put your own content
Right.
out there
That's a
and
great
push
point.
out a vision. And you have these trolls that wouldn't even dare to even try
Right.
something like that. So it's kind of like you see that spectrum where it's like they don't have the confidence to do that, but they're
Right.
just building up my confidence as well. So it's like I can't pay attention to them because as you grow and as you get bigger, you will have haters and you will have critics.
Yeah.
That's just part of life.
That was actually one of the reasons why I was very nervous
Yep.
about coming out of our
podcast.
closet.
Yeah, coming out of our closet, getting
Because I'm like, oh man, you know, because I'm just like that possibility
Of being criticized?
No, not necessarily being criticized, but like just something that I found so precious to then, like, it does take courage, to your point,
Yeah, of
John.
course.
It takes a lot of courage, and that is a really great point. And I'm not like that now, but I do think about, like, you know, I don't want to get death threats. I don't want to get because our last guest, he was like, he gets death threats, and all he does is try to make shit funny on
hilarious comedic.
Yeah.
And then you're just like,
that just brings, like that's what I said, is just build your confidence, because as you get more of those, you learn how to cope with it. And so the more people come, you're like, okay, next. All right, next.
And I think too, if you go into anything with the healthy mindset of not everybody's going to like what I do.
Exactly.
If you go into it already assuming not everybody's going to love it, then you are already prepared for it. You just don't know what day it's going to come. But you know, hey, whatever I do, whatever I produce is not built for everybody. And that's okay, because those that love it are going to love it and share it. And love and likeness, I think, to me, outweighs anything negative. I mean, as long as you find it.
And then you'll see who's really rocking with you, because like, as you put your stuff out, you'll see who's supporting you, and it'd be like, okay, these are the people supporting me, these are the people that's fighting behind, and so it's like, okay, I got it.
Well, okay, so John, transitioning from, because I love what you're saying, and I think that, you know, you put the Protect Home Court, it's lovely, and I saw how you dealt with that person.
That wasn't the greatest, but I'm going to respond.
It's still hilarious.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I laughed and I bookmarked and I saved it. And I'm like, we're going to have an entire topic based on this because it's so good.
I mean, it's all love at the end of the day, but
it was good. It was good. But Mark, like, what? So based on what you're saying about like the love of it, like what was the passion that got you to start a podcast? Because your podcast is fairly new, correct?
Yeah, fairly new.
What was it that told you, I have the courage to come out now and start this podcast and put out, you know, to a wider audience and the critics? And so what is your origin story, I guess, in a way, for your podcast?
Sure. So I started a podcast some years ago in Detroit before I moved to California, and I started it with a co-host who is on national TV. I'll keep his name off there at the moment.
Anonymous.
We'll learn later. VIP.
You'll tell us later
on the Cash App.
After hours.
I'll tell you off there.
Patreon.
And I started it then, and simply because I think I got encouraged to start talking about something that I've been invested in since I was 6 years old. I mean, I was the nerd that read the ESPN Almanac on a yearly basis.
Wow.
I had the NBA encyclopedia in the 5th grade, and I read most of it. I mean, I was just that nerd about it. Besides playing, like I played it and then I went and studied the game. And I did that for basketball, I did it for football, then I started expanding to other sports as I worked in, you know, hockey and baseball too. But really for me, it was just about, I wanted to do it again when I moved out to California, but I wanted to do it on the right platform with the right people and get it out in the best way possible to still, in order for me to keep the joy of it, continue to love it, and then at the same time too introduce some new people to it as well. So by being on the Good News Network, and I'm grateful to God for Keith and having the opportunity, now I can jump on other people's podcasts and be a part of their show, but then also maybe grab one of their listeners, and say, "Well, come check me out." And whether you like me, love me, hate me, hey, I got one more listener. Maybe you come back. Maybe you go, this ain't for me, but I know somebody else that likes it.
Well, with that, tell us how would you describe your podcast?
Yeah, so my podcast, honest to goodness, it's for not a sports fanatic. I mean, you can be a fanatic, obviously, and listen to it, but what I really try to do is educate my listeners on what's going on in certain sports. Obviously, the big ones are out there, basketball, football, whatever's relevant. But then also sometimes I do dive into other topics that may not be well known.
Right.
Okay.
So one thing that I talked about on one of my earlier podcasts was the growth of the minority fan base growth within the realm of the NHL.
Oh,
interesting.
In my work background, I've worked for two AHL hockey teams, so the American Hockey League. It's the minor league system for the NHL. I worked for the San Diego Gulls, which is the minor league affiliate for the Anaheim Ducks, and the Ontario Reign, the minor league affiliate for the LA Kings. So, and me, at both of those places, not both, but at one of them being the only black man and only black employee of an entire sport organization.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, obviously for me, it's okay. I know I'm into this shit, but there's got to be other people that look like me or have the same tone, same skin tone as me, whether you're black or not, that want to be interested in this game, but they don't know how to get introduced to it.
Right.
And so I remembered my childhood and said, all right, Mighty Ducks got me into hockey. Why? Because there was black kids in every single movie. So it made it okay to like it. Right. Now, from a professional standpoint, how do I do that for my community and for the masses? So I bring that same enthusiasm to my show, which is life issues still occur in all the sports. Let me bring those out to you because you may never go look for them on your own.
Right. Yep. And do you have like a mentor or because I know you've had I'm looking at your bio. You have 10 years of working in sports industry. Did you? I know you and you said you had a co-host, but looking through the ESPN, the encyclopedias, what have you. Was there someone where you're like, damn, that is what I want, or that's who I look to, or that's why I do what I do? Or
several people. The first thing I looked at from a professional side and not a player side, I looked at Joe Dumars. That's the good.
Really?
Yeah, because he was the first NBA player I saw and that I paid attention to transition from life after basketball.
Okay.
And he went from playing with the Pistons and retiring to immediately becoming part of their front office personnel. So from that point on, I was like, okay, there's more than just the coach and players. What does he do? Why is he doing it? And how does that spread from what he's doing at that new level to what it is that I watch and admire to be, which is a player? Okay, you work with the general manager. Who's that? Oh, they draft the players. Oh, they make trades. Oh, they do the hiring and firing. Okay. Who else is around them? Right. You have a director of scouting. You have player operations. You have the owner or ownership group. You have all these other different departments. Right? So him going from player to front office really made me look at everything else. And then I heard stories along the lines of another example, Tom Wilson, who is one of the C-level executives for Olympia Entertainment. Olympia Entertainment is a big family organization in Detroit that owns the Red Wings and the Tigers, as well as Little Caesars. Okay. That's how that family made their money.
The pizza?
Yeah.
That's
so Mike Ilitch, real Detroit history for y'all real quick. So Mike Ilitch, the founder creator of Little Caesars Pizza, that's how he got his fortune, and then bought the Detroit Tigers first, and then bought the Detroit Red Wings hockey team in the 80s. And then obviously they got a couple championship Stanley Cups out of that. But Tom Wilson used to work for the Pistons, who worked with Joe Dumars. Story I heard about him was he started off as an intern working the popcorn machine, and it worked his way up.
Yeah.
And when he kept rising up, there was a alleged story out there that Isaiah Thomas was pissed off about that when he retired from the Pistons. Like, how do you let the popcorn guy become this person?
Yeah.
Well, he worked his way and learned the business. So when I learned that story, it's like, oh wait, there's more to this than just player operation. It's tickets, parking, concessions. It's
that makes sense. Yeah,
entire conglomerate of people.
Yeah.
And then there was also Stuart Scott.
Okay.
So I found out every little nook and cranny I could find, and figured I am smart in this. I want to do this. I'm born to be in this. Where do I make my mark? So I've bounced around different departments in my past 10 years.
But that's what makes you a whole.
Exactly.
Right? It's all the pieces. I think that's something that it's like a common thread that I find with people that I admire or that I see, like, I want to support them or even the fact that they would support me. Like Mark, you coming on our show wanting to support it, me going on your show wanting to support it, is because, like, just intrinsically you have a common thread where it's like you want to be around those people that have that.
Obviously, I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
Because there's a lot of
some
people.
There are, because
because
people's success, will magnify the lack of yours.
Exactly. And like competition, like I think that in America, like everyone's considered competition, and maybe because I mean I'm looking around the table here, all of us are people of color, right?
That's right.
We know it. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like all I'm saying is that we have a common thread of that and community.
Yes.
No, I mean, that's a reality. I mean, that is what that is. You can't ignore it.
Yeah.
And to brush it under the rug is
that no
doing
one
us a
talk
disservice.
about,
And it's like, really, like, if not all of us have to eat, you know? And so we help each other to get to that level, I think.
And to add to that point, I think a great example in sports right now, ours the goods, is LeBron James.
Yeah.
I mean, to watch him go from player to watch. I mean, really, he took a group of guys, some of his best friends, and elevated them to positions that once upon a time, players didn't do that for their friends. It was, you're the player, they're your friends.
Yeah.
You keep them separate. You don't bring them with you and also elevate them to positions where now they are in the boardroom with you.
And I think
doing their own thing, rightfully so.
We are definitely, I feel like, in a precipice of this modern athlete from like all fields.
Yeah. And I think
doing things like that.
Yep.
And to
lifting others up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to see a bunch of black boys from the Midwest do that and become millionaires, you go, wait a minute. We've been doing this wrong. I mean, then you look at hip hop,
Right.
you look at you look at Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I mean, look where his true friends are still with him, doing their own thing.
Right.
Some of them have a prison record, but still, there's the redemption story within that too.
And that's very American. I think it's very much being an American.
Yeah,
it's
everybody
having
wants
that redemption story and having that narrative
and having those redeeming qualities.
Yeah, because we all have to sometimes hit those crossroads before we take the wrong paths. A lot of ways. So I think that's really interesting. That's a great story.
Yeah,
Thank
I love
you
it.
for sharing your origin story.
Yeah, no problem.
We are at 15 minutes to the end of the show. I hate that because I could talk to you guys forever. But before we move on to the next segment, really quickly, I'd love for you guys to give my listeners a hot tip about what do you do? Like, what's one thing that you would say everyone should do to get success, find their success? One quick thing.
Persistence. That's
Persistence.
it. Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Patience and persistence.
Oh,
Persistent.
double P.
I know. I have no patience.
And
get it to me now.
In the math equation of luck, preparation plus opportunity.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
luck is
Yep.
manifested from your persistence,
And
I think
and
so.
energy and
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're so positive. Take that, internet trolls.
Bam.
Being negative sucks.
Sorry.
I'm gonna do some little transition on you.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Why do I sound
Special
so weird?
effects.
That's sweet, actually.
So we were going to do a quick, in the spirit of summer.
Yeah, I don't want to participate.
We're going to do a little.
Can I read the cards?
No. We're going to do game room sports quiz. And so I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and maybe people in the chat, if you think about it, I'll count to 10 before you have to answer it. So that'll give the people in the chat time to answer if they know. I can do it one of two ways, where I can straight up just ask you the question, or I can ask you the question and give you the ABC, or I can give you 50-50.
ABC.
Or maybe you got to ask for it if you can't, right?
Multiple
All right.
choice.
What is it? Phone a friend. Okay, so let's do a couple of these really quick. Now that we're heading towards the end, the NBA season MVP receives an award named after who? Larry O'Brien.
Nope.
J. Walter Kennedy. Wait, you're supposed to wait. Maurice Poladolph.
Him.
Or David Stern.
See? I knew it started with an L.
I haven't said if that's correct yet.
See?
So anybody in the chat, do you guys want to try your hand at that? What is the NBA season MVP? What's the name of the award?
And that's
After
regular
two.
season, not post.
So going once.
Yes, regular season.
John, do you have an answer?
No, go ahead.
Oh, man. So yes, it is C.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's probably not fair playing with Encyclopedia Bland here.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun fact, the NBA Finals MVP is named after Bill Russell.
I knew that one.
That's
Okay.
also fairly new, though.
What sport did James Naismith invent?
Come on now.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But
Yeah.
Basketball.
okay, people in the chat, you better if you have these answers, because these fuckers do not know how to follow instructions.
Hey,
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry.
I'm not even gonna give you any of the multiple choice. You're just gonna have to try to figure it out. Okay, who was the 2015-16 NBA season MVP?
You said
Say the
20
years again.
Who was the 2015-16
answer?
NBA season MVP?
Andre Iguodala.
Season,
You
not
said
post.
season MVP.
Oh,
Hold
season.
on. So we're going
Who
back.
was the 2015-16 NBA season
Season,
MVP?
I can tell you. Hold on.
Anybody in the chat? Can you beat these guys?
Kevin Durant.
You say Kevin Durant? Okay.
You said 2015-16?
Mm-hmm.
It was, no, it was Steph Curry.
What's your answer, Karen? Do you want to?
Yeah, that was Curry.
Was it correct?
Was that the
I thought it was
unanimous
Durant.
year?
I thought it was Durant.
unanimous year?
It was Steph Curry.
Oh, damn,
All right.
Suck.
Who was the MVP in 2016? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read that again. Who was the MVP in the 2016 NBA All-Star Game?
2016 NBA
Oh, All-Star game.
Okay, I'm going to count to 10 to think about it. So people in the chat, you get a chance. Again, who was the MVP in the 2016 NBA All-Star Game?
What year is this? 2019.
Okay, anyone? John?
LeBron James.
You say LeBron James?
Yeah.
Harden.
Harden?
Was it?
I have a bad memory.
Anybody in the chat?
It was either Westbrook or Anthony Davis. Was it Anthony Davis?
Okay, so anybody in the chat? No one's going to go for
Nope.
it? It was Russell Westbrook.
I said Westbrook or AD.
Okay.
I wasn't definitive
let's
in
see,
my
I'm gonna
answer.
do that. Okay, which one of these members was not inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1959?
Okay, so not.
1959.
Yes. George Mikan, John Wooden, Hank Luzetti, Chuck Hyatt.
Chuck Hyatt.
Who was not inducted in '59?
Yeah.
John Wooden.
John has no.
Say A, B, C, or D. Say A, B, C, or D.
Okay, it was John Wooden. Yeah, I'm going to do one more. Let's see. Oh, your buddy Jason. Sorry, it was not Hank. Okay, so I'm going to do one more as we head out. Okay. I'm not going to give you a selection. You just have to tell me. Okay, so who was picked first in the 2016 NBA draft?
Oh, shit.
Hold on.
First draft pick.
You said 2016.
Picked first or first draft pick?
Who was picked first in the 2016 NBA draft? Crickets. Oh my God, we're dead air.
wait.
Oh my God, we're players. Crickets?
No.
We're like the players in the
I just have a
broadcast.
bad memory. I'm thinking about the draft.
Exactly,
can you
Karen.
give us the
Thank
draft
you.
class?
Okay, so I'll give you. Okay, Buddy Hield, Brandon Ingram, or Ben Simmons. Let's see.
There's only 3 on that one?
I don't know how to say the fourth.
Oh.
So anonymous Knicks fan said Ben Simmons,
Oh, it is Simmons.
and then he sat out a year.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I
so
forgot it was that long
It
ago.
was- Rookie of the Year.
it
Yes,
was
it was
Ben
Simmons.
Simmons. Oh my
Wow.
gosh! Did you Google search that? All right, that's it, guys. That's all I'm gonna do for this
Yeah,
sports
that was
trivia.
fun.
That's sports trivia. Encyclopedia Bland. That's going to be my new name for you. Now that I know.
I'll take that.
We are coming towards the end of the show, and I think really quickly, I don't know how quickly, we have a Sweaty and Petty where we pick things that we want to tell.
Oh, I've heard the Sweaty and Petty
Yes.
segment twice
So,
now.
I have to get this out, and I know we're at time. I really want to give a Sweaty and Petty and a timeout to Steve Kerr for his current slander
Kerr.
about Anthony Davis being forcing them to trade him to the Lakers. He got all in his feelings about talking about how he thought that was wrong. He said, if you come to an agreement with that team, with the team that, hey, it's probably best for us to part ways, that's one thing. But Anthony Davis stuff was really kind of groundbreaking and hopefully not a trend because it's bad for the league. Quite honestly, I think he's one of the last people to be talking about any other organization. I don't know. What do you guys think? I saw Kendrick Perkins was full all caps on Twitter saying, y'all need to just keep it quiet, take a time out and sit this one out with the slander. So what do you guys think about that? Because I read it and I literally screamed. I think it's
you got to think about the type of era he came from, where guys played with one team.
For a long time.
Yeah, but okay, it's one thing to say that it's bad, but he's like literally calling out this Anthony Davis thing. It's like, that's ridiculous. He didn't say that when Paul George.
That's what I was saying. Paul George. That was like out of the blue.
PG, yeah.
You know, and people are like, I don't want to play there. Like, all over the place.
It's because it became public. Had that Anthony Davis thing not gone public, I don't think anybody would have a problem with it.
Well, we know, like, KD, like, said that he was going to stay
and he low-key references Paul George. He says, if you go to a team and say, hey, I think it's time for us to part ways.
You really think he's low-key mentioning Paul George by that statement?
Because nobody knew Paul George wanted to leave the Thunder until after it happened.
Well, everybody thought that KD was going to be staying with OKC until he
did what he did.
Russell and said, I'm headed to the Warriors.
But he also left in free agency. I think Kerr.
So you're a Kerr fan?
No,
you're a Kerr apologist.
No. I'm not apologist for him. I am being objective to the train of thought that he's coming from.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But do I think Anthony Davis should have left New Orleans? And do I have a problem with what he did? No. I am all for player mobility. If you don't want to play somewhere no more, fucking leave.
Well, Anonymous Knicks fan 922 says Melo did the same thing.
He did.
Okay, and why did Kerr have to specifically call out Anthony Davis?
Because it's relevant. Only because it's relevant.
I think he's being petty.
He probably is.
Well, he has competition in the West now, so
lots.
It weakens his organization.
Yeah,
again, it affects
very heavy in California.
But at the same time, like I read an article, I forgot who it was, but a lot of the players do have control over where they want to go now, and that's becoming a problem. It's
to the
not,
who?
You read it. You read this.
Yeah.
Problem
you believe
to who?
that, though.
Do I believe that? I don't know where I stand on that because any day, like a team believes in you, and then they're like, "Okay, I want to go out." I just texted this guy in Portland and say, "I want to play with you. Let's make it happen." That's a lot of control what the players have. But at the same time, it's like when you look at the organizations, like how can they control that? They can't.
But should they?
It's like,
no, because the everyday person can leave jobs too.
Right.
That is their job. If they don't want to work there no more,
Yeah.
but stay within the same industry, they should be able to do that too.
What does a contract mean then? It's absolute. Then.
A contract is there.
Well,
a contract is there really to to put a protection between you and the entity that you're signing a contract with. That has nothing to do with loyalty.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, in my opinion, I don't think that you need that. Maybe it was a time, maybe to your point, Mark, what you're saying is like Kerr had a different state of mind and mindset because of where he comes from, that he would, think this way. Yeah. But if you got to get, and he's a very with it person. Yep. Like, I think he's like super into like, he's
current,
his EQ and his IQ, and he's very current, and, he's very like socially driven. Yeah. But I'm just like, why would you then think that players shouldn't have that power?
Yep.
We've never seen players exercise this level of control over their own destinies before, so it's new for a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. When is it going to get out of hand? Because when people want to start teaming up with each other, they can just like text their teammate like, "I want to go. I want to be there."
That's the whole point of the salary cap, though. You still limit how many players you can have on your team.
I don't know. I just think
otherwise, in baseball, shout out to the New Yorkers out there, you become the Yankees.
Which, I guess.
Well,
you become the modern Red Sox, because the Red Sox did the same thing.
And baseball doesn't have a salary cap. So do you say, hey, no salary cap for everybody, and now, again, you only have 15 roster spots. Guys are only going to go place, one of several places, but that's still only one ball that has to be shared among 5 people on the court.
Well,
these guys still have egos.
I think that was just sweaty and petty and Kerr. Like,
it was.
I don't know. I think that that made him look bad in my eyes because he's a modern person, and I think the same social injustices that he sees in the real world for certain people, he's playing with these guys, and he should just be like, "This is the way of the world." So, that was mine. I don't know. Can you do yours in like a minute?
Oh God, 1 minute. Okay, well we'll put a positive spin on this. So first off, I just want to shout out to like 88% of men that are cool and good guys, because there's a study a little back from the UK that 12% of men in that study, 1 in 8 surveyed, said that they could return a serve back from Miss Goat Serena Williams. And then what was fun though, is that recently an old video from the Dude Perfect guys that do all the little like stunts and whatnot had one with Serena where 4 of them were trying to return a serve and just could not. They were getting welted. They were falling on their ass.
That was a great video.
Yeah.
Actually.
And then
I
after
didn't see that one.
Yeah, I'll share with you. And then she was doing trick shots like hitting water balloons and moving targets. And what I liked about the internet was like, whatever these dumb little trolls, 12%, right, with big old egos.
Right.
You know, there's evidence out there and other people behind her and the 88% of people in general who are more realistic and understand greatness when it's in front of them. So that was my sweaty and petty for those 12% little dudes.
And we're at time. So if you want to play us out, we want to thank John Anin at Protect Home Court, Mark from Sport Talk with Mark.
Sports Talk with Mark coming up next on the Good News Radio app, baby. 8:30. Stick around.
Yeah, definitely stick around and listen to him because he knows his shit. Make sure you subscribe to us on wherever you listen to podcasts. Download the Good News Radio app. Get in the chats with us. Get on our level, people. We love everybody that listen to us, that want to listen to us, that will listen to us. Thank you, everybody. And I think, you know what, Karen? We just got to keep it and,
sweaty and petty.